Hello and welcome to the Internview, a series focused on checking in and catching up with Actors Express's interns of the past, present, and future. I am Eliott Grenier, and I was an intern for the 2019-2020 season, and today I'm joined by a fellow intern from that season. She went to Shorter University and got her BFA in musical theater. She brought her powerful voice to Actors Express several times, from Freddie's playlist to online performances, and recently has organized one on behalf of Actors Express herself. She has been a wonderful person to work with. I'd like to introduce Tanyah Hope Anderson. How are you doing, Tanyah?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, as tradition, we're going to start off. How did you get into theater in the first place?
So I was actually a very shy child growing up, believe it or not. But when I was in middle school, it took me up to I was eighth grade to have the confidence to join choir and do drama. And by that point, I came to know about a performing arts magnet high school called Pebblebrook High School, and I auditioned for it, and that was my intro into the arts. And I don't know if you know what a magnet school is, where it's still a normal school, but a small portion of it is focused towards, for this instance, performing arts. There were other schools. I was in Cobb County for sometimes business or languages. So it's varied all across the county, and this one was for the performance arts. And I had a really good, strong introduction to how the business works, and I just continued on and wanted to do musical theater in college. And I actually almost transferred because I was like, maybe I actually want to do jazz, because I was going back and forth about it. Did I end up just staying? So I was just like, well, I'm here. I'm just gonna stay, and I'm happy because I got so many other kind of skills from doing musical theater than just doing straight music. So yeah, I'm happy the path I took.
What was your first experience then with Actors Express?
My first, introduction to AE was the musical theater festival that they had, maybe a year or so before our internship started. They hosted it at AE, and that was actually my first introduction. And I was like, this is a cool space. But learning about AE was pretty much the internship. And I was born in Atlanta, but I just wasn't as invested or aware of the theater scene here. Because I took a break after college for about almost 2 years, and I was just like, okay, I'm ready to get back into the scene. I'm here, I live here, let's use some common sense. And then I just found out about the scene here, and I was just like, cool, I'm in it. And I got it, and Freddie and the staff, and obviously my fellow interns are amazing. And it's just been a roller coaster of fun. I'm sure you know all the adjectives, like exhaustion, but wonder and excitement, and just I'm pretty grateful for the experience I've had with AE. It's been a great experience overall.
What made you drawn to AE specifically in the first place? Why not an internship or apprenticeship somewhere else?
Yeah. I love the energy. Something about the way, and maybe it's because of the way Freddie presented it, because I view him as the heart of AE. Mm-hmm. In our interview and in my audition, I one of the last things he asked me, which I'll never forget, why do you think you'll be fit for AE above all the other people who were auditioning? I was just like, you know what? I don't think I have anything different than some of these other people coming in. I think it's all about the fit. Do I fit with AE? Does AE fit with me? And I just felt in my soul that there was just this connection versus some of the other places that I had auditioned for. And I was just like, this is it. This is where I want to be. And it is 20 minutes away.
A very important part is knowing what your commute's going to look like.
Yes. And depending on traffic and how fast I drive, maybe 15. So I was like, yes, and yes, and yes. Check marks all the way down. And then, Eliott, you gave me a ride on our first day because I didn't have my car yet. And it was my great introduction to you.
Well, actually, that leads into another question I'd like to ask. What was it like then after you booked the internship? This is the year-long commitment. What was it like for you getting into the room for the first time? I know you ended up you were Ubering there, right? And then you needed to live home. What was it
Yeah.
like to then be in a room of strangers that you knew you were gonna get to know them?
I mean, I was late. I mean, like, I told Freddie, like, I think, like, my introduction was literally how everyone came to know me, and it was a normally, like, literally storming and saying, I'm late! And, like, you know, just in a blast of energy, and just, like, in a frenzy, just, like, ah, ah, ah! And I think that's literally how everyone's like, yep, that's Tanyah Anderson, all right, that's her. But no, I was excited. I was also nervous. I was like, I hope these people like me. Like, I hope I don't get on their nerves and they don't hate me. And I'm just like, I'm excited to work with them on projects and stuff, but please don't hate me. So that was like my take. And then everyone was like super chill. Everyone was like super fun. Yeah, I can't really say anything other than that, but I love our group. I mean, I hope you do, but I love our group. So
I agree. It seems like we had a really good start, and then we kind of ran through it. We were always a unit, you know. We always made it work.
yeah,
Well,
we did.
so moving on to my next question, what was a specific challenge that you faced in the internship? You know, what was the one that stuck out either the most to you, or if you've got a couple, I'd love to hear them.
You know what the top one is. You already know. It was me being in Fun Home and having to go on for a role that I did not understudy. And I had 2 hours, maybe less, to like literally run through the whole thing. I was like talking to our music director. I was like, yeah, can we just like, and I tried doing it without the music. I was like, this ain't gonna work. So I like had to have it. Well, actually, no, I had to have the script. Because like they have the option of giving me like the musical score. I'm like doing this, you guys know. And I was like, this is just too much. It's like a freaking binder. So I just used the script, and I was just like, I knew the melody enough with the piano, even if I kind of messed up, at least I had the words. And it was, you know what? Even though like when I was there, I think like there was like a small portion of stress, but like also relief, because like I was not expected to have this perfect and to like, you know, be this kind of person. Like the cast was so supportive. I had like this ratchet wig, but my performance was not ratchet. And like the audience was super supportive and just like, you did an amazing job. Like I've seen Broadway and like this is like, you did great. And I was like, thank you.
I mean, talk about one of those scenarios where it's like the show must go on, but then you're forced into this. So you had 2 hours to get an entire rehearsral process shoved into your brain.
And like, don't forget, it was funny how it happened because, okay, Marcia, she was like playing the role that I had to go on for. And so she got sick. Then her understudy, Jillian, got sick. And then like, I got the call and I was just like, there ain't nobody else. I was like, yeah, that was going on in my mind. And like on the phone call, I was like, yeah, of course, sure, I'll be there. I'm like literally leaving now. 30 minutes later, yeah, I'll be there. And I was, and I did it. And Precious took me through everything, like, you know, went through the choreography of everything. It was like, it was cool. It was like honestly kind of thrilling, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. Now looking back on it, I feel like that's really kind of crazy to say, but yeah, I think that was my most insane moment that I felt like, wait, I can do this career. So if I can do that, I can do it.
Because that kind of pairs up then with my follow-up question was then, what is one of your greatest successes? And it sounds like that was both your greatest stressor, like your greatest challenge, and your greatest success all in one.
I think that in Downstairs was like my biggest challenge. Like, I mean, I had the pleasure, if you guys don't know, I partnered with him in Downstairs. I mean, I know you said an introduction, but in case you guys don't really look, like I just want to restate that. So so many lines. I feel like actors shouldn't really stress over that, but you don't understand. There were so many lines. I mean, you kind of understand, you kind of don't understand. It was me and TJ who had the most lines.
Yeah, because in Downstairs, what was that like then when you first when you were given the script and you're like, all right, this is the show you're gonna need to be ready for, and it's literally like 90 pages and you have 70 of them.
It was great. It was like so great. No, honestly, my favorite part was really just digging into the character, and like Andrew was our director for this, and it was like such an awesome experience working with him, because like we started, me, Marcia, and Andrew, like we were the trio, and we started together by building the set for your show, for the first show, and then we got to go in to downstairs, and it was like such an intense experience watching the main cast, you know, in their rehearsals, and then eventually like just like getting our stuff together. And I'm like, I know I stressed you, TJ, out, because I was so stressed about the whole thing, but like you guys are such great partners that like it just gave me such relief that I could just count on you guys. And like that kind of energy is like the best energy to have when you're acting with people, especially on such like a project like this. And so I was just like grateful.
So then we go through this process, right? We've done all these shows, and we were getting ready for our intern showcase, and then we get interrupted by elements outside of our control. What was that like for you? What was it like for you to, you know, we all of a sudden had so much to do, and then all of a sudden on pause until further notice?
Thinking back, I don't even know. I think I was just so caught up with just like the insanity that was going on in the world and even in our country, because I mean, I think COVID-19 really brought up a lot of issues that our country really needed to face, that, you know, obviously a huge portion of the country already knew and already saying things, and like a smaller portion was already starting to listen, and like there were some small changes happening, but it wasn't like this huge understanding across the board. Just like, oh, we gotta fix some things. And so, and I think that trickles down all the way to the theater scene and the film and TV scene, you know. So like mine was kind of more in like the big picture kind of things. With like this, I'm just like, you know, I'm grateful that we have this show and everything, but we can always put it back on, you know. Like I think safety and all that is more important. And I mean, that was kind of just my mindset for all of this. So there's still so much that even I, as a Black American, just did not know about. I don't even say like our culture, but just like the history that we have with this country. It's terrifying. Honestly, it's horrifying. You know, just the amount of things that we've had to go through and still are going through, but it's also, there's just something beautiful in the sense of just like how strong we are and how like we persevere, you know, like we keep it moving. Like, and I think it's great that mental health is becoming a bigger thing to talk about. And I mean, not just across the board, but in this community. Still searching for a therapist. It is a very hard process.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, then, since then, you know, we've had a lot of time to grow in the period leading up till now. You've been working on some projects that I'm sure you're really excited to talk about. Well, what is coming up?
Yes. So I had another way to be like kind of helpful to the cause. I thought to use my talent, and so I wanted to put together a cabaret series. Emphasis on the series. We're starting with one. Let's see how this goes. And I pretty much just gave it as a proposal to Freddie to do have a cabaret with a theme, and then have a cause that's connected to it. So this theme is pioneers in American music. And the cause is for Black Lives Matter. So as in like different foundations that benefit Black Lives Matter, because there's just so many, from like mental health to food to voting. Like voting is been such an interesting thing to see right now. So so I'm directing this, and Josh Hudson, who's one of our other fellow interns, is like assisting directing me, and Freddie and AE is like pretty much producing this, and he's also been like a huge mentor. Like honestly, after this experience, like we're kind of at the tail end of like editing and promoting. This is like a full production, honestly. Like you would think being online, it's less work. No. It's literally would take like 4 to 5 weeks putting this whole thing together. Like, I'm so grateful for, you know, the actors to like, yeah, totally, this is such a great cause and we get to perform. I'm like, yeah, I wanted to create a space for us, you know, to perform again. And we've been doing a lot of like, you know, readings of plays, and I thought like, well, why not just like mix up a little bit and do some music? And I think it's cool that there are different places around Atlanta that are kind of like getting more into like the cabaret scene of things. Still safety measures, of course, but yeah, that's I'm excited about this. So yeah, let's let it go.
Well then, Tanyah, I really appreciate it. Do you have any parting words for us?
You know, I wish I had some kind of like words of wisdom. But no.
Well, that's perfectly fine. I will look forward to seeing you on the virtual stage. Thank you so much for your time, Tanyah. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for interviewing me. This is fun.